Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer. We're in the garage today simply because we're having gusts from 45 to 55 miles an hour outside and it is ugly. Uh, and you can hear my nose and throat. I've had it for about a week or so. Um, it is due to allergies caused by the mulberry trees having consensual you know what. But, anyways, there's a lot of stuff in the air and that. But that's why we're in the garage and we're going to do a Mustang update. Okay, this is it. This is a 2010 GT. It's the one I took the original little teaser picture of, but then that fizzed out and then it came back. I'll explain that at the end of the video. But this is the car. I'm going to show you around the car just a little bit. We're not going to dwell on this or anything. And this is just going to be a short update. But this car, I have all of the service records on it from the day the guy bought it in California till the day he sold it at auction, or they sold it at auction. I don't know if the guy passed away. I don't know what happened. But nevertheless, this car has never been repainted. This is called Red Candy in Ford colors. It's beautiful in the sun. It's actually beautiful in the garage, in my opinion. But anyway, here it is. There's really very little wear or even anything on the outside of the car. A couple little dents and little tiny dents and scratches, door ding, that I need to touch up. I've got some paint coming, got some different mufflers coming. You know me, I can't stand to have it quiet. But we're going to take a look around it and show you what she is, and I'll explain as I go. You can hear my garage door squeaking behind me with the wind blowing. This is the back of the car. It was ordered with about $7,000 of options. It was a $30,000 car when it was new, and the guy wound up paying about $38,000 for the car. I have the window sticker. I have everything. It even has a backup camera. You'll see very few Mustangs of this era with a backup camera. It also has Sirius XM, and it also has a navigation system, the sync radio, all that stuff in it, and obviously it's got a cream-colored interior. But this is a look at the back of the car and down the side of the car, and I'll walk you around to the other side. And you can look down this side. It's extremely clean. By the way, these are factory 19-inch wheels, which was also an option. Brand new tires, Sumitomo tires. I think in the pictures you might be able to see how badly the windows were washed inside. I've cleaned the side windows and the front window. I think they used a rag to clean the windows. This is just how I got it, by the way. We hauled it back on a U-Haul trailer. I'll get to that at the end of the video. But this is exactly how it arrived here. So let me show you the inside. Okay, this is the inside. You can see that it has, as most Mustangs do, the accent lighting. However, this one has lighting on the sill plate. It's also got lighting under the dash. The color of that light can be changed, but I guess the red is okay with the red. You can see that it's the premium, so it's leather interior. Everything as far as the inside is pretty spotless. The gear shift handle has some wear on it. I already have a new one on order. Sorry for my hand. You can also see that the cruise control button is missing paint. This was a common failure on most of these cars. And the plastic here is kind of beat up from people's rings and so forth. I have those 3 pieces of plastic and that switch coming to fix that. But you can see that the inside is extremely clean. Now we'll take a look at the engine and we'll talk about that. Okay, here's the engine on the car. The car, this is in 2010, they had the new body style with the 4.6 liter. In 2011, they went to the 5 liter V8. So this is like a 1 year only combination of parts. You can see how clean it is. This is exactly how I picked it up. And I know that the dealer that I bought it from in Arizona washed the engine off, but they did not detail it. What you see here is exactly how I picked it up, with the exception of me wiping off the or the strut towers and stuff like that, wiping the dust off of them. So this is exactly how I bought the car. It's just as immaculate as the outside is. There's no engine corrosion. There's no corrosion or anything appearing on the valve covers as there is on most of these cars. The inside sound deadening on the inside of the hood is perfect. There's not even any kind of degradation where the battery is. Usually they get corroded there and messed up. Like I say, I do have some parts coming for this car. We'll get to that another day. I'll back up here. Now you can see the factory 19-inch wheels. But anyway, this is the condition of the car, and this is what it is. And now I'll give you an explanation of how all this transpired. Okay, I had sent you guys that little teaser when I was first looking at this car. 3 of us packed up in the truck. I had made a deal with the guy to buy the car. I had a cashier's check made and everything. The 3 of us went over to Arizona in the pickup. My buddy was going to drive the pickup back. Ryan, my grandson, was going to ride with me back in the Mustang. We got there. The car was everything that he said it was until we drove it. When we drove it, it had a real bad clunking in the front end. So, of course, we got underneath it, looked around. They obviously knew it had clunking on it, and he didn't tell me that before I came. But they had replaced the struts, the sway bar links, new A-arms. Basically, all the parts in the front end were new. I didn't realize it at the time, and I'll get to it in a minute. But he scrambled around trying to get some guys to fix it and fiddle-farted around and everything. And finally, we had stayed there 2 hours, and we had to get back to Las Cruces. So I grabbed my check. I was ticked off at the guy for not telling me all these things before I went there. We drove back, did nothing but complain to each other about it, got back, and I was looking at a car up in Ruidoso, New Mexico, in Grabber Blue. It was a 2010 also, had black stripes on it. Not as loaded as this car, cloth interior and such. But anyways, to get to the point of the story is, this gal had been ghosting me. I would have probably bought that car up there, but I kept sending her messages through Facebook, and she kept not answering. Anyway, it was a long story, but she kept ghosting me. We thought that was weird. But anyway, down the road, we went over to my son's house for Gavin and his mom's birthdays, and Robin was already mad because we went over there, didn't get anything, and had to come back and all that stuff. So we were mad at the guy. So then we got mad at the girl because she was ghosting me and wasn't responding to the other car I wanted to buy. And I looked at about 200, well, online I looked at about 200 Mustangs. In town I probably looked at about 6 or 7, and you wouldn't have given 50 cents for one because they'd all been grabbed by a kid and screwed up. So, anyways, we were at the party, and I had, of course, every time I looked at one or something, I sent pictures to my son or whatever. And he said, man, he says, you should have really bought the one in Arizona. I said, yeah, but it had some clunking noise in the front end, and we didn't have time for the guy to stick around for the guy to diagnose it and fix it. Then I got to thinking, You know, I've been around these cars for a long time, and I've been around cars for a long time, and there's only one other part that clunking can be, and that's the sway bar bushings. So he said, well, maybe you should just buy the one in Arizona. I said, Mom isn't going to go for that because she's mad at that guy. She's really mad. And he said, well, it's not about the guy, it's about the car. And I said, okay. So I called the guy up and I said, hey, what would you sell me the car for just like it is with the clunking going on in the front end? So he knocked off another $500. He had already knocked off $1,000 when I was going to buy it the first time. Then he knocked off another $1,500. So I scrambled around that day after he said that. I rounded up a U-Haul trailer, talked to my buddy Mike, asked him if he would be dumb enough to go with me back over to Arizona, and sure enough, he was, and we were. And let's see, was it Tuesday? Monday, I went down to U-Haul and got the trailer at 6:30 at night, and weirdly enough, Tucson is considered a day trip. It's a day rental, classifies as a day rental. I couldn't believe it. The trailer was only $59, so for a car trailer. So I went down, rented the trailer, got the trailer, had the trailer on the truck, parked it here at the house. 6:30 in the morning, I was at Mike's house. Tuesday morning, we flew over to Arizona. We didn't fly over. We drove over to Arizona. We got there. I paid the guy. We loaded the car on the trailer. We were only at the dealership for less than 30 minutes. We did all the paperwork, everything. He put a tag on the car. We loaded it on the trailer. We had gotten gas going into Tucson. We left Tucson. Mike said, hey, why don't we stop in Benson, Arizona? There's a McDonald's there. We can get out of Tucson and we can just get off the road there real easy. Pardon me. So that's what we did. We got a hamburger and we came back to town, unloaded the car at about 4:45. Took Mike back to his house, dumped off the trailer by 6:30, which was the time I had to have it back by. I was there at like 10 to 6, dumped off the trailer, came back here, and this is what you see. But that's how all that transpired. It was kind of a long trip to get there, around the block trip to get there, but it was worth it because, as I told you early in our video, I have put new bushings on it. However, the only ones I could get from O'Reilly's, I didn't know when I bought the box and got it home that they were polyurethane. While it did accomplish getting rid of the clunking noise in the front, as I said, the bushings that were in there fell apart in my hand when I took the sway bar loose. I put these polyurethane ones in there, and it did get rid of the clunking and stuff. But now those type of bushings are so hard that they transfer a lot of road noise right up through the body of the car. So I'm not happy about that. So I have purchased some Moog rubber sway bar bushings, which I am dressed right now to get under the car and put on, providing I can get the car up in the air without opening the garage door simply because of the wind that I'm speaking of. And I'll put those bushings on it, and I think that'll help a bunch, and the car's pretty much ready to go. Good. Everything looks good in the car. Oil, everything's good. I didn't realize that these new automatic cars, they don't have a dipstick. Whenever it's the fluid change is recommended, they do it all at the transmission. They drain it out and pump it in. But anyways, everything on the car looks good. Everything works good. Got my phone connected to the car. I'm not totally up on the whole sync system, but I'll get there as I go. I have a whole poop load of little, as I told you, parts to fix some of the stuff on the inside that's not right. I'm not going to sink a bunch of money into this car in performance parts as I did on the Bullet. It's going to get some new exhaust because, as you guys know, I'm a fanatic for listening to exhaust. That's what I have the car for. That's why I got another V8. So we'll just play it by ear. I'll keep you posted as I put stuff on, and I guess that's about it for this Mustang. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the Mustang update, and the little story at the end of how this all came about and didn't come about. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks for watching.